Hopefully that been shot. And I want space here. Hello everybody, me again. How are you? I hope you're all really well on this wonderful weekday. I hope you're all coping well with lockdown. Hope you're all well and safe, really, and healthy. Today I thought I'd do quite a chill, relaxed video. This is going to be kind of my Netflix recommendations, really. So any like series or mainly series. I think there's one like feature-length documentary / film in there. But yeah, this is going to be my Netflix recommendations for you. Not everybody's taste, but thought I'd just give you some good series and one documentary film, I think, to have a little watch and see if you like it. So here we go. Let's have a quick sip of my coffee. Oh, that's good. I have got the biggest headache and neck ache today, but I'm going to persevere. I'm going to power through, be productive. First recommendation for you is the comedy show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This show I was introduced to not long ago, probably maybe 2 years ago. It was one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. It stars Danny DeVito. It's the brainchild of Rob McElhenney and somebody else, I can't quite remember his name. But yeah, it's basically about a group of friends, a brother and a sister, a couple of mates, and one of their dads is Danny DeVito in the show. They run a bar in America, obviously in Philadelphia. It's just crazy. Like, if you love madcap, zany comedy where nothing really makes sense and there's musical extravaganzas in the middle of it and just madness throughout a whole episode, really. It's one of those things you can just have on in the background as well and really enjoy watching if you're like doing something else. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like give it a watch if you love madcap, zany, weird comedy. It's definitely right up your street, so that would be number one. Number two is going to be Don't F with Cats. Now, if you haven't seen this docu-series, you need to go and watch it. It was probably one of only a handful of series that me and Soph watched, and every episode was like, what? Like, at the end of every episode you were literally like, what the f is going on? And it was a story that I didn't know. It went places I didn't know it was gonna go. It ended in a place I didn't think it was gonna end. It was so good. I can't quite remember how many like parts there are to it, but it's all about hunting somebody on the internet that's not a very nice person. Yeah, definitely give Don't F with Cats a watch. It will blow your mind. Series number 3 is going to be Afterlife, created and directed by Ricky Gervais, and who also actually stars in it. So Afterlife is a kind of really dark comedy. If you love Ricky Gervais's stuff, usually you're going to like this. He is a lot darker in this. So it's set around a guy called Tony who loses his wife, unfortunately, and kind of the afterlife of that relationship. Great comedy. It's basically he works for a local newspaper. It's kind of set in Little England. You would have those really funny like intricacies of small English village life, but with like the really sarcastic comedy of Ricky Gervais in there as well. So definitely give Afterlife a watch. And also alongside the comedy vibe, you will cry during this series. I don't care how much of a macho man you are, you will cry. You can have the coldest heart in England, you should cry. Yeah, so it does a great balancing act of the comedy and the emotional stuff as well. Because obviously, you know, Tony's lost his wife. There are bits in it which are hard to watch. But yeah, great series, give it a watch, definitely. Number 4 is going to be Peaky Blinders. Now, if you've been living in a cave for the last 4 years or something, you won't know what Peaky Blinders is, but let me tell you, it's a series you need to watch. Okay, Cillian Murphy stars as Tommy Shelby, leader of this Birmingham-based gang set pre-First World War. And it's kind of how his gang, that includes several members of his family, go about building their business empire, go about having feuds with other gangs locally, and each series it ramps up and gets better and better and better, and the storylines evolve in such a great way. There's a lot of love interest, there's a lot of drugs and sex and murder, and it's actually really good. Usually that kind of thing is such an American thing, and it's set around the gangs of New York maybe, but to see it from like a British side is really funny. Birmingham accent is immense in this. There are so many strong characters, you're going to like somebody in it. and there's a bit there for everybody. So yeah, Peaky Blinders is 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. You need to go and watch that. New series coming very soon, which I think I've seen somewhere. Rowan Atkinson is in. And I'm not going to say too much to give anything more away, but I'm buzzing for that. So give Peaky Blinders a watch. Great series. Series 5 to watch is a little bit quirkier actually, completely different from the others that I've mentioned. So it's a series on Netflix called Abstract, and I think it's called Abstract: The Art of Design. So this is kind of a mini docu-series which follows creators from around the world. So it follows, car creators, it follows architects, it follows the guy who created the Nike Air Jordan. It's such an eclectic mix of people, but it really zeroes down in on how they got their breakthrough item, what the process was behind all of that creative stuff. And it's just so cool to see like what goes on in so many different industries. You see a pair of AirPods come out and you go, well, these are fantastic. But not a lot of the time you think of what went into that before it appeared in the world. So yeah, it's great. It's just great to see like so many creative people from different fields that you wouldn't normally go out and Google or go out and search up on. So definitely give Abstract a watch if you are a creative person or you've got a design mind. It will really spark you up, I think. So yeah, give Abstract a watch. Series 6 is going to be something called The Devil Next Door. Now this was a series that me and Soph started watching more. I think I finished it and Soph kind of lost interest a bit. But this is a fascinating story. So it's based around some of the Nazi prison camp guards, in one in particular who was alleged to have still been alive, and they were trying to bring this guy to justice basically because he was supposed to have killed hundreds and hundreds of people at these death camps. And they basically found a picture of somebody from wartime and then matched it to this guy in modern day 1980 something, and they were trying to basically say this is the same guy, let's bring him to justice. There's basically a bunch of Jewish survivors who testified against him in court, and it goes through the whole process of here's who we think this person is, he's going to court, these are all the people testifying against him, this is this person's individual story and what he claims is the truth. And it goes through that whole court process and the whole proceedings. It's absolutely fascinating if you love anything to do with the world wars that have taken place. And there's obviously the human interest piece around the survivors versus, potentially this actual devil who lives next door to in modern day suburbia America. So yeah, that's a great watch. Definitely watch that if you're interested in history or any of the wars. And like I say, it's just a good watch anyway to see the way the proceedings go in the background and stuff through the court process. So yeah, definitely give that a watch. Series number 7 is going to be Fear City, the Mafia and the Mob. New York versus the Mafia. New York versus the Mafia, Fear City is a great showcase of the Mafia at its height, what the police were doing in the background to try and bring them down, and the internal altercations within the Mafia itself. This really underpins the movements that were made in the Mafia at the time and what one city in New York did to try and combat everything that was happening. And obviously there were failings along the way and things developed in a way that neither side really saw coming. So that's a great watch if you're into gangster films, if you're into the history of the Mafia, if you're into Law and Order or the criminal service system. Definitely give that a watch. So that's New York. So that's Fear City, New York versus the Mafia. Great watch. Series number 8 is going to be Modern Family. Now I was introduced to Modern Family by Soph, and I have to say it's one of the better. I don't like a lot of the American comedies. Modern Family for me was one of the first ones where I looked at it. It's quite similar to the US Office. It was my kind of comedy. There's a lot of deadpan, somebody's talking to one another here and they just give a quick glance to the camera and so they go. I love that stuff. The kids are really funny in it. It's basically follows kind of 4 or 5 different families who are interlinked through brothers and dads and mums. Great cast in it. All the guys and girls in there are really funny. So if you love Friends, if you love US Office, if you love Extras, that kind of thing, I think you'll really like Modern Family. It's shot almost like a documentary. the way they filmed it. So there's a lot of like roving camera work, but obviously it's a proper storyline of these evolving families. So yeah, give Modern Family a watch. Series number 9 is going to be Queer Eye, More Than a Makeover. I love this series. Basically, it follows 5 guys going around America. Each series is set in a different city, and their basic mission is they receive applications from somebody's friend or somebody's brother and mum, and they basically go to this person and kind of change their life for a whole week. So they look at everything from culture, fashion, diet, lifestyle, hair and beauty, all that stuff, and they give them like a full life makeover. It's not just they give them a haircut and some new clothes. They really, what I love about it is they do all that, but they also delve into the psyche of where they are in their life and try to break down the barriers that they may have potentially in their lifestyle currently. I love the show. If you love all that glitz and glam stuff, you'll love it. If you love a makeover, you'll love it. If you love an emotional roller coaster, you'll love it. I've cried several times at it, I'm not gonna lie. It's a really feel-good program. It's probably probably in the top 5, I would say, on Netflix for me personally. It's a really feel-good like series to watch. And if you do watch it, you're absolutely gonna love Jonathan Van Ness. And finally, we're at number 10. And now this is not a series, this is kind of a one-off docu-film. This will be Tony Robbins' I Am Not Your Guru. So Tony Robbins is a motivational, inspirational speaker from America. He's had a long and industrious career of like holding these huge workshops that people pay right across America to go and come to. Helps people with struggles in life and does the normal kind of thing that motivational speakers do on these kind of events. But he'll run a workshop for like a week or 2 weeks and people pay, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of money to go to this, but he's worked with so many celebrities and sports stars and stuff. He's amazing at what he does. One of the best things about this series is you kind of get a look from from his side of it. So there's a lot of like what goes into producing those workshops for people. You go into his psyche around why does he do what he does? Why does he repeatedly do it every year? What does he get out of it as a human being? And you kind of see, you see a lot of his passion come out in his work, because he loves like salvaging somebody from the very rock bottom of their life and bringing them back to a place where they can achieve and succeed. And I love that stuff. I'm sure many of you guys will as well. So if you love like motivational stuff, you love emotional stuff, you love that whole behind the scenes documentary style, you love an uplifting story, you love this discovering and exploring the inner workings of somebody like that, defo give that a watch. Me and Soph both really loved it and we recommended it to everybody after watching it. So do give that a watch. Oh, I've got dry throat from speaking. So that's it guys, my 10 Netflix recommendations for you. Let me know down in the comments below whether any of those match yours. It'd be really interesting to actually find out what your guys' recommendations are. If you've got any you want to send to us, send it over. We've got a lot of time at the moment, so we can definitely watch those on the weekends and in the evenings. Be really interested to see if some of you guys match my recommendations. There's obviously tons and tons of stuff on Netflix, but they're just mine. You may have your own opinions. Thanks again for joining me on this one. Hopefully we'll see you all soon. Thanks a lot guys, bye.